This is Rebecca Schissel Marshall with Whole Body Upgrade, a podcast to help you get unstuck, feel better, and have more energy. Let's get started. Episode number 52. It's really a revolution. I want to begin by welcoming in the great directions, the great direction of the East. I welcome in the great direction of the South, the direction of the West and the North, the direction that is above and below, and the direction that is within. I call on all of my helping and compassionate spirit guides to be present with us here today. And I call on the ancestors that have lived well and died well and are here to support us in everyday tasks. And I call on the elements, call on air and fire and water and earth to be here with us today. And I acknowledge that I'm on the land of the Creek and the Cherokee that is now known as Athens, Georgia. Hello. Hello, my friends. How are you? How are you doing? I just finished recording the 4-part series on how to some easy methods on how to get your clients unstuck. And this isn't part of this series, but it's really kind of the theme for those series. Those last 4 series were really getting the word out about the centered wellness training that I'm doing, that program. And the more I talk to people, the more I've realized that this training is really a revolution. And it's kind of exciting for me and also terribly terrifying for me because it feels bigger than just a training program. Right now in the United States, we are at such a turning point. And really, in so many different places, I think we're at such a turning point. And the way that I see what's happening, my particular viewpoint, and of course I'm biased because I'm a woman, but I really see that women have the opportunity to be at the forefront of changing our society. The United States has been built on a patriarchal culture based in white supremacy, and keeping women and keeping individuals of color, people of color, in their place has unfortunately been an integral part to how our country was built and how the fabric of our society operates. It's extremely unfortunate. And I'm seeing more and more how this is true as I get older and I get exposed to this. And it's really, it's very frustrating to me. What this equates to is that there are all of these systems in place in our society, kind of systems that we expect, that we accept in our lives. And these systems are in place to really disempower women and people of color. They are set up to keep us small, so that we don't speak up, so that we don't question status quo. And really, the message that I keep hearing is that there's something wrong with women. Not that that's true, but that's the message that's been put in, that's been placed in this society. Now, of course, as you can see, or maybe you can't see if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I am a white woman, a cisgendered white woman, and I know I have received a very small fraction of this in comparison to individuals who are Black, who are Indigenous, who are people of color. Most of the clients that I work with are women, and although I do work with some men as well, I see this negative effect on men as well, that patriarchy doesn't really help men either. And this is why I'm so passionate about the centered wellness framework. I see it as a method of empowering anyone to be more healthy, to be more balanced, and to be more on purpose. It's not really necessarily the content of centered wellness that leads to that. That's it. That's important for that. But it's the process of the centered wellness framework that's important. And the process is really the way I see it. It's the way to empower people then. And as I said, for me, empowering women, right? That's just the work that I have been doing, empowering women to not give away who they are and not give that power to an external force. It turns that power back to oneself. So often as women, we're told that what we're feeling is not appropriate, right? That it's too much, where we shouldn't feel sad. Don't cry anymore. I'm so, you're feeling pain, but that's just getting old. You shouldn't pay any attention to that. All of those pieces is just another way of telling us that who we are isn't valid, right? We're taught to not be selfish. Don't be selfish. Don't start your business. Don't start that practice that you've always wanted. That we should put our energy into how we look instead of how we feel, right? There's a big message about what size our bodies are, or what color our hair is, or that we have our nails done, right? That our aches and pains are in our head, that we should just take a pill and be finished so we can get back to taking care of others. The way I see it is the more that we empower women, the more that we empower women to be healthy, to be well, to be able to show up fully as themselves, the more we're able to change the very fabric of society and to be a more just and loving place. When people are allowed to show up and be themselves, to be accepting of who they are, it is much more likely that they're going to show up and be accepting of others. The more we empower women to grow their heart-centered businesses, the more freedom that is available to women to be who they are, the more it changes the world. From my particular perspective, I see the centered wellness framework as a way to empower women. And I feel like that is revolutionary. When we empower those that have been disempowered for so long, it starts to shift the framework of how society functions. We can start to see things differently. We can start to do things differently. And yes, there will be resistance because people have done things a certain way for a very long time. White males have been in charge for a very long time, and they don't want to give up that power. They aren't going to like it. So of course there's resistance. This is just a sign that it's time to keep going. This is a sign that it's time to keep going. Resistance is actually part of the revolution. If there wasn't any resistance there, it wouldn't be a revolution. It would just be like, okay, that's what we're going to do. Looking at our human selves differently and looking at ourselves differently from the status quo is actually an act of rebellion, right? When we do something that is not what society tells us that we should do. And it's crucial to shifting that fabric of society. You can do this for yourself. That's why centered wellness can be so empowering. The centered wellness framework, using that framework in your life, can help you shift to what do I want? Like that's one of the big questions I've been asking. What do I want? Not what's the norm? Not what does everybody else want? What do I want? And you can use this with your clients. Then you're empowering your clients. And when you empower your clients, right, it's this ripple effect of how many people can be shifted. And it's like a bottom-up approach instead of a top-down approach to change. The process of the centered wellness framework and using this is deep and rich. And it's been really a part of who I am for so many years now. I would love to be able to show you whether you want to use this for your own life, or you're a coach and you want to use this as for your clients. I want to show you how different life can be. You can work with me individually for a 3-month program, or you can get trained in the Centered Wellness Framework in your own practice. The Centered Wellness training applications are just open for a few more days. They close on July 1st. I'll put a link in the bio to both working with me individually and for the Centered Wellness training so that you have access to those. Okay, dear ones, thank you so much for listening today. And I hope that you join me in this revolution for especially for our society here in the United States. Thanks for starting the revolution with me. Take good care of yourself. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Whole Body Upgrade. If you'd like to learn more about working with me, you can visit me on Facebook or Instagram, or on my website, CenteredYou, that's CenteredYou.com. See you on the next episode of Whole Body Upgrade.